It had only been 6 weeks since Juan Panzo Temoxtle started working at Shelton Land and Cattle in Weld County.
911, what is the address of your emergency?
Yeah, 229.
It only took 6 weeks for him to encounter one of the most horrendous dangers a dairy worker can face.
I have an individual, an employee, that fell into a manure pit in a piece of equipment.
A liquid manure pit.
Is he awake?
No.
Is he breathing?
No.
Are you able to get him out, Jason?
No, we cannot get him out of the cab. So the door's jammed shut.
Are you able to
We're
get
still working on it.
inside of the cab with him?
What's that?
Is someone able to get inside of the cab with him at all?
No.
March 30th, 2021. A Weld County Sheriff's deputy learns Juan was training on a manure vacuum. The sheriff's office blurred this video before they gave it to us. It showed paramedics performing CPR on Juan.
Okay, are you I'm the owner. Okay. Do you know what happened? Yeah, so the gentleman here was operating this piece of machinery. The black one? Yeah, the black piece.
Juan was inside when that massive machine ended up in a 12-foot pool of cow waste and started to sink.
I don't know if he misoperated the vehicle and plunged it into the pit or what, but obviously the piece of machinery went into the pit here, and the cab was completely closed up.
2 people jumped into frigid liquid to try to save Juan.
He went in the water to try to save him? Yeah. Okay.
But those rescue efforts failed. These are the 2 men who tried to pull Juan from the pit. One of the would-be rescuers told the deputy what he saw.
He was on the front end of this piece of equipment that he was training the guy, and I was standing right over here. He was training him? Yeah. So I was standing right over here working on this valve, and it popped in. And so he jumped off the side of it as it came over the edge, and then I jumped in to try to pull this guy out of the cab.
The man who's talking, employee Taylor Cross, told investigators in a written statement he saw the equipment Juan was driving back up, approach the curb at a higher rate of speed, hit the curb, then broke through the emergency stop. Then he wrote, it started sinking into the pit.
So when you guys, was the door locked? No, so with the pressure of I was able to work the latch, but I could not pull the door open.
The Weld County Coroner's Office told us Juan's cause of death was anoxic brain injury due to drowning. They ruled it an accident. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or OSHA, opened an investigation which has not yet been completed.
It's going to be considered a crime scene until an investigator does his thing.
Weld County Sheriff's Department, who we're following on the body cam here, closed their investigation because they were only looking for criminal activity, and a deputy wrote that what happened to Juan was purely an accident. Juan's family thinks more could have been done to protect him.
Casi toda la familia se puso a llorar de que esto, porque no fue normal. Si estuviera enfermo es otra cosa, ¿sabes? Sabía que uno está enfermo, ¿no? Pero así de accidente, de repente, no. Sí nos dolió mucho.
Alfredo Panzo Temoxtle is Juan's brother. He says Juan had only been in the States for a year and a half.
Quería hacer otra casa. Ya tiene uno, pero dice que quiere hacer otro. Pero le gustaba hacer. Y pues, él estaba luchando apenas. Estaba pagando.
He came to the U.S. hoping to earn enough money and build his family a home in Mexico. He was almost done saving up what he needed when he died. Instead, he left behind his wife and 3 kids, ages 11, 7, and 5.
Ella pues lloraba, no quería tampoco. Es que no puede ser, pero aquí ya nos dijeron que ya no se puede más.
He says Juan's widow is still in shock over what happened. We reached out to Shelton Land and Cattle. While they declined an on-camera interview because of the ongoing investigation, they did provide a written statement, saying in part, We cannot adequately express this deep sadness we feel over the accident that involved one of our employees. Our sympathy is with the family as we all mourn his loss. Safety protocols and physical barriers were in place at the time of the tragedy, and our team is working with the Weld County Sheriff's Office and OSHA in full cooperation with their efforts as the investigation of this truly unfortunate incident continues. What happened to Juan may seem like a freak accident, but it has happened before in other dairies across the country. In fact, Rocky Mountain PBS found records of at least 10 incidents like this one, investigated by OSHA in 8 states, dating back to 1997. Each involved workers dying after their equipment or vehicles ended up in manure pits on dairy farms.
In agriculture, they have really some of the highest workplace fatality rates and workplace injury rates compared to any other industry in the United States.
Bethany Alcater works with the National Center for Farm Worker Health. She says despite these known dangers, there are few specific regulations placed on farms and dairies when it comes to worker safety.
It's just a dangerous industry, and so if there's not these enforcement mechanisms and if there's not the resources to build in the safety structures, it becomes really difficult.
In the other 10 cases we reviewed of deaths similar to Juan's, OSHA handed down initial fines to employers that averaged just about $6,800. Fines ranging from $1,500 to more than $13,000 per incident. And there may be even more incidents we don't know about because OSHA doesn't investigate or track every farm worker's death.
It's a little bit of a Wild West. Yeah, employers have a legal general duty to protect the health and safety of their workers, but without the presence of having like really specific rules that the employer has to follow, it's really difficult for OSHA to do very much. It's really not OSHA's choice. They're very limited on their manpower.
OSHA confirms it had not inspected Shelton land and cattle in the 5 years before the fatal accident. At the state level, Colorado's Department of Public Health and Environment regulates and inspects dairy farms, but it has the authority to focus on food safety and environmental impact, not workplace safety.
No tenía experiencia, pero la irresponsabilidad de que no pusieron a alguien experto con él a enseñarle.
Juan's nephew, Martín Quiagua, says he has worked on 5 dairy farms. He wishes his uncle had received more training on the vacuum he was driving, and he wishes the pit had been surrounded by some sort of barrier he says he's seen in other dairies, like tall barriers made of stone.
Si eso existiría, yo pienso que tal vez no moriría.
Advocates for farm workers in Colorado cited Juan's death while rallying behind a farm workers' Bill of Rights at the state capitol.
Congratulations to all the hard work that went into this bill.
It creates some basic workplace protections for farm workers, including the right to unionize, take water breaks during hot summer days, and potentially earn overtime pay. Governor Jared Polis signed it into law in June.
This is about people. This is about the fact that they can't even bring up that they have unsafe work environments.
House Representative Yadira Carabeo was one of the co-prime sponsors of the bill.
It seems like may have been the case on this dairy farm when somebody with no training was put directly in a position where they ended up dying. So it's an important first step in acknowledging that agriculture cannot function without these workers. It's not just about who owns the farm, it's about who works the farm.
While it's not clear that anything in this Bill of Rights would have prevented what happened to Juan, lawmakers and advocates hope they are creating safer and healthier workplaces for people like him. A father who came to our country hoping to build a home for his family. A father who will never come home again.
Necesito que le ayuden porque tiene familia y los dejó chiquitos, pues. Eso es lo que yo quiero, que les ayude.